So I thought as we begin to move forward with each other and with the congregation and the community around our future, especially thinking about the big change for us, which is having our largest asset being more accessible to us as in the form of right?
Yeah.
Something that we can really now make some different kinds of decisions, that we wanted to make sure that people felt on board about that and also got excited about it. As I was listening to you and with the podcast, once you get passionate about something, right? It's easy
Makes a big difference,
it
right?
makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So what's going to be different about this conversation that we have moving forward?
So I think it's interesting, right? Because Lakeview is a kind of a place where we move into the future and we're not too concerned that we're going to get somewhere. We're not always so sure where we're going to get, but we're willing to take that risk, right? Yeah. And I think that says a lot about us, right?
Yeah.
And, thinking about our building, and I think some people have physical attachments to it, but I don't know that, unless I'm miscalculating it, I don't think that anybody is like, don't tear that building down because I need to go there, right? I think they're more connected to the community. And so it makes, even though it's a long time coming, lots of conversations that led up to it, I think, the decision to tear down the building and build dozens of affordable housing units makes total sense for us. Yeah. And even that for a congregation to do, I think many congregations might say, that's good, that's enough, we're good now. But I think we're saying that's step one.
Right.
Now what can we do with that?
Right. Well, I think that's what I like about us. I mean, because we're not afraid to explore, all of the layers of what these decisions can mean. And so thinking about not just tearing down the building and rebuilding, but kind of the commitment to stay there in some form. We don't know what that looks like. Right. We don't know how it's going to be, but to be wanting to be present and be a part of the unfolding and the implications that this building has for the community also says a lot about who we are.
Right. So I feel like that's the exciting part. The other part is exciting too, bricks and mortar, right? And providing that housing for people. But just kind of catapulting us into a new kind of space. And what I'm really appreciative about is that people are willing to undertake this conversation of reparations, right? It's happening in Evanston, in Chicago, and Detroit, and nationally and internationally. And the more I think about it, the more I hear about it, and it's a moment. It feels like its time has come for us to really be serious about it.
Right.
And I think we're just in a moment in time where it makes a lot of sense, and with a group of people who are willing to struggle together, connect with each other, try to understand what that means.
Yeah, and the interesting part for me thinking about it is when you don't have, like Lakeview has struggled financially in some ways, and we've done a lot of really great things not having access to resources. So in some ways you can kind of pat yourself on the back about the small things that you can do, but this is a big thing.
Right. There's a lot of conversation about this notion of privilege, and I think our doing this acknowledges the privilege, because privilege means unearned benefit. And in the United States, a typical white family has 10 times the wealth of an African-American family, 10 times. Yeah. That means if a white family has $100,000, a black family has $10,000. Yeah. And so that opportunity that's presented to us and say, how do we begin to have the conversations and do the things that begin to redress the injustices that have happened?
Right. There's going to be a series of conversations and groups meeting around community organizing, community development, and community building.
Yep.
And what we like about our church is that we know that it's not a one size fits all, that some people will get excited about community organizing and learn more about what that means for us.
And we think that through this strategy, we think there's space for everybody, right? People who like to build the community in the congregation and worship together and come together and sing together. People who really like doing ministry, like the farm, like the garden, like the all kinds of things. And then people who like to think about how do we organize internally and externally and build our power that way, so that we can really have a deep and lasting impact in our world.
And And as Nancy Arterman used to say, and have a little fun.
And have a little fun along the way.
Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Exactly. So stay on the lookout because I think this is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure?
For sure.
More exciting than zucchini noodles?
A little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more.